In May of 2025, Margaret and I visited the World War II Museum in New Orleans, Louisiana. The museum outlines the battles in all theaters of this war that not only led to the defeat of tyranny, but also established the world in which we live today. The museum also focuses upon the endless individual stories that made up the war, such as Anne Frank, or the airmen and other soldiers who served, many of whom lost their lives. The museum is very large, consisting of 6 buildings. Allow yourself at least a full day to see it, and maybe more. Come along and we will show you some of the things that you will see if you visit.
Well, we just arrived at the World War II Museum in New Orleans, and this is the main entrance hall. And as you can see, it is big, and they even have a DC-3 suspended from the ceiling. I think was a C-47 in military talk. And then right above us is a Spitfire and some boats. And there's a howitzer, looks like, over there. Just all kind of things. We'll show you what else we're going to see. And here's a view from the second floor. The boats down here are Higgins boats, or landing craft. And the reason the museum is located here, a volunteer told us, David, is because these Higgins boats, as they were known, were built here in New Orleans. Very important for the war effort. All the beach landings, of course, D-Day the most famous, but many others as well. And this is a replica of a train car that transported the troops across the country as they prepared to ship out. This is part of the exhibit on the road to Berlin, War in Europe. Walk through this. It's very interesting the way they've done it. This is a recreation of a German pillbox. This is part of the exhibit on the Pacific Theater. In this area, they recreated a whole jungle, like in the Japanese islands, the controlled islands in the Pacific Theater.
We were so young and so stupid. We had no concept of wars.
The exhibits in the museum are very realistic, and they cover really all aspects of the war and also aspects of the lives of the soldiers as they fought in this very lengthy conflict.
And here's a sculpture of a face that'll be familiar to a lot of you, Anne Frank. Of course, her story is known worldwide. It's such a sad story. These are statues of various airmen at various stages of the war. All of the people depicted died, and their story is told on a board that is just right by the statues. This is the Voices from the Front exhibit. They have kiosks where you can ask questions of veterans and sort of have a conversation. The technology's not perfect, but it's really cool to hear these veterans give their stories in person.
Individual items are highlighted in the exhibits. For instance, in this case, there are some fascinating stories, including that the wedding dress shown was made out of parachute silk. Throughout the complex, the names of soldiers who participated in the war are shown on bricks that give information about them and their units.
And this is the Boeing Center, which has we got a B-17 hanging up there, and Just a whole, there's a P-51, just a lot of planes. It's very open. Less crowded than other parts of the museum, which is pleasant. And here's a view from the 4th floor catwalks. The big plane here is a B-17, of course. This particular B-17 is my gal Sal, and you can maybe see, yeah, you can see that printed on the nose. This plane crash landed in Greenland. The crew survived, lived to fight another day, and it was recovered in recent years from Greenland. Kind of an amazing story, really. And over here, it looks like B-25, medium bomber. It's distinctive tail. B-25 was the plane that Doolittle used in the famous Tokyo raid early in the war, at least early for the U.S.'s participation. This is the American Scepter Bar and Restaurant, which is right in the center of the complex. They do have places where you can stop and get a bite to eat or a Coke or other refreshment.
If you go to the museum, you may want to consider staying at the Higgins Hotel across the street, which is really nice and is decorated with a lot of World War II memorabilia. You might also want to go to Rosy's, the rooftop bar, where the servers dress in outfits reminiscent of Rosy the Riveter. The views from the rooftop bar, particularly at night, are really spectacular, including the Bollinger Peace Canopy and the cityscape of New Orleans. And if you come to New Orleans, you might as well take in the rest the city has to offer, which is quite a bit.
And here we are in the French Quarter, where there's a lot going on, as you can hear. And Mardi Gras was last week, but there's still a lot going on.
One thought is that we should be successfully back and back. When the saints go marching. But okay, y'all, this is the cool down first take. I'm going to take a little 30, 25-minute break. And y'all can also catch us back in about 35 minutes to the song of Berlin Brass Band, y'all. Stick around, set a friend, bring a friend back. And we just warm it up, and we'll be right back and right back.
And of course, if you're in New Orleans, you have to see the Big Muddy. The reason New Orleans is here. There's a paddle wheeler going along. Closer view now. And here's a barge and a tugboat, a pusher boat, that actually coming along. soundtrack down here that just goes on. These street musicians, most of them are pretty good.
So that was our visit to the World War II Museum and to New Orleans. We really had a great time. We learned a lot, and we're just very impressed by the museum. I think if you go, you will be impressed as well. Well, that's it for now. We'll see you next time.